Hello and welcome. My name is Weisbimann from the German piracy organization SPECTRE, and today we have the first look of engineering, which came live with Alpha 4.5. It brings along a bunch of new features for us to explore. One of the most notable changes is the end of the area of solo capital ship flying. All bigger ships demand more attention and care to handle effectively. In this tutorial, I'm excited to guide you through what happens when your ship received a reactor failure and how you can stop that event. Once a reactor failure happened, I also will give you a kind of a checklist what you have to do first and after each other to stop your ship from explosion. I detected in the PTU that the reactor failure occurred when your nose of your ship has a massive damage. So for science, we have to make this kind of damage, and therefore I have to hit here in my hangar several times the nose that we have the reactor failure. And when we have the reactor failure, you will see a counter is running on the display. And in this case, I'm using the S-guard, and the S-guard has less than 1 minute to react with this reactor failure. When you fail and do not follow this instruction what I give to you, your ship will be explode. So now we have a reactor failure. So the first step what we have to follow on our list, on our checklist, is we have to unlock all ship ports. And then second step is we have to find where the power plant is. Of course, this you should know when you're flying your ship where all those components are. Next to do on our list is to go to the power plant and take your tractor beam and pull it out of the bay. It is like in Star Trek when they pull out the warp core from the Enterprise. So now we have time. When both power plants are off, then we have time to take the fire extinguisher to extinguish all the fire on board. So check your ship carefully that you try to find every core of the fire and extinguish it. So I love really the new effects here. Sometimes be sure you also have to look on the left hand side where the temperature are, because sometimes you do not see visual the fire in the PTU, but it's still there. Make sure you extinguish all those fires, and then here also you can see then immediately the S-guard comes back and the fire alert turns off. From this point we have time. So then fire was extinguished, we prevent our ship from the reactor failure, thus we avoid that it can explode. In this scenario, I will run a little bit and make sure that no fire will be there. So now go back to the engineering terminal and let's have a look about the condition of our ship. On the engineering terminal, we will directly see that we have now a power plant failure. This is quite normal because we pull off both power plants out of the bay, thus we do not have any power on the S-guard anymore. So therefore, step number 4 is to repair the power plant and all other components. Especially when 4.5 came to life, then there is a absolutely need that you have equipped a multi-tool with repair function, and make sure you have the STR container with you. Otherwise you will be not able to repair your ship in combat. For this example, I also heading to the second power plant and repaired the second power plant as well. But there is no necessity to have 2 power plants always in the ship running. Thus, often the second power plant is just there for backup In this example, I repaired it because I tried to test out several things in the PU, and yeah. Okay, when the power plant is repaired, also have in mind you have to cross-check all your other components like shield generator or even the cooler need to be repaired. In this example, you will see it later, I forgot to repair someone, and then when you start the ship and try to fly, the fire will be directly start again because the cooler do not work properly. When each component was repaired, heading back to the engineering terminal. Now again, power plant failure is detected. Of course, we have to pull on the power plant again into the bay, and then it should work. Back on the engineering terminal, you have to make a restart of the power plant. Thus, shut it off and turn it on again, and then you can go ahead and can also start the engine. Back on the pilot seat, I try to fly my ship away, but unfortunately there is currently a bug in the PU. Thus, when you repair the power plant after a reactor failure, unfortunately you will hear the engine sound, everything on. Also from outside you will detect that the engine is definitely on. You can hear the power of the engine, but unfortunately you are not able to lift off. I also tried to use boost to get off of the landing pad, but then another failure occurred. This was resulted because I ignored the third cooler to repair, and I got immediately a fire warning. Here is also another bug because the display is not mentioned the right message or the detailed message in behind. Thus again, go back to the place, detect the fire, take the fire extinguisher and extinguish the fire. You may figure out that I have 2 spare power plants in my cargo bay of the Ice Guard, because I assumed previously maybe in kind of a reactor failure the power plant will be totally destroyed. Thus we have to replace the power plant totally and then bring the ship back to life. But I can tell you I test this out and unfortunately it doesn't work properly. Thus also by replacing both power plants into absolutely fresh one, I'm not able to lift off the ship. I also went back to the pilot seat and using the repair function, which is coming new to the engineering gameplay. When you sit on a pilot seat, you can use the MFDs and go to the engineering terminal, and on the right hand corner you will find a repair all function. This requires that all broken parts will be repaired automatically, will be taken between 1 and 2 minutes. And I tried it out. Maybe with this function I can bring back the ship to life, but unfortunately it does not work properly. Thus this is a bug. I already searched the issue council and found a amount of reports in this scenario. Thus let's wait. Hopefully CRG will fix it until 4.5 comes live. And yeah, I would summarize what we learned today in this session. In case of a reactor failure, unlock all ship ports. Second, go down and pull off the power plant of the engineering bay. Third one is to extinguish the fire. And then you have time. Then number 4 is repair your ship. Number 5 is start or restart the power plant. And normally, of course, when there is no bug, then you can fly with your ship again. I hope again this tutorial was useful and give you a short overview what you have to do in emergency scenario with your ship and how you can bring back to life all those ships and roughly to see how the engineering works. If so, I would say smash the like button and also give me a subscribe or let me know a comment if this was successful to give you a short introduction about the engineering gameplay, and catch you up in the next one. See you. Bye bye.